Yo, what's up everyone, and welcome back for another video. Is another dungeon walkthrough. It's another dungeon guide. I have been doing 100 runs of this place, and I'm gonna do it one more time, and I'm gonna show you all the loot that I've received from this place. And today we are looking at a TBC dungeon called the Shattered Halls, which is right over here. It is located in Outland in Hellfire Peninsula, right here in the middle of the whole zone, with two other dungeons which I've already covered. We have Hellfire Ramparts down here, and we have the Block Furnace up here. But I do already have videos on those. I have already run those 100 times. Go check them out if you want to. But today we are looking at the Shattered Halls, which is right here with the gate. So I'm just going to jump into it. I'm going to run through the whole instance, killing and looting everything on my way, and then I'm going to be talking about the loot at the end. This particular dungeon is not that long. I do it in about 4 minutes, because once you actually enter and finish the dungeon, once you actually finish the dungeon, you will not be able to exit it. There's no exit on there, so I'm using my dream walk. But when I use my dream walk, I'm going back to the town, the honor hold, as an alliance, and you will be ported to the opposite side as a horde, I could imagine. So you do have a little time, well, you have a little flying to do after you exit the dungeon, which will then put the run to about 4 minutes, a little bit over 4 minutes perhaps. So around 4 minutes per run, which indicates that you don't really need a speed set. Obviously I am running quite fast just as it is. I do not even have my bear to tar on or anything like that. So the run is pretty fast, and you don't need to be stacked up on speed gear to be able to make this in 6 minutes or less. Besides that, as I said, there's no exit, so being a druid helps a lot. You can also, if you are above 50, I am not, so I can't do it because I'm only 45. But you can actually queue up for a pre-made group, which will then put you in a group even though you haven't invited anyone. And then you can actually leave that group by yourself, well, the group you are in with yourself, and that will actually start the countdown to port you out to a graveyard, which is 1 minute countdown. So if you time it well enough, you can then line it up so you exit or you get ported out of the instance once you've done the last boss. That is also a way of getting out if you do not have a druid, but obviously druid, you can control it yourself, and it's much easier. Besides that whole thing there about the dungeon and the speed and the exiting, why would you do this dungeon? Well, the first answer will probably be you shouldn't, because there is a lot of other TBC dungeons that is way better, due to the fact that you cannot get materials. Well, you will not get materials. Is not saying that you can't. You can only get the cloth, which is the nether weave cloths, which is don't sell for anything. They are not that great. You can use them for crafting, of course, but other than that, it's nothing too interesting. But there's no mining, there's no primals you can get in here. Obviously you will get the moat first, and then you can make them into primal. So there's really nothing interesting to go into this particular place from, because most of the items that you get in here can also be received in other dungeons in TBC. Also, a little thing you should know about this little corridor here, this hallway, is these stealth mobs. There is, I don't even know how many there is, but just go around and see if you can find them. They will obviously pop on your screen before you can actually see them. And as you saw before, if you manage to pull them before you kill them, they can stun you. They will backstab you, whatever it's called, and then stun you for 4 seconds. So make sure you kill them before that happens, because that's going to save you a little bit of time. And it's annoying to be stunned, we all know that. But this is the last boss, so I'm just going to be poured out, and then I will port back in so you can see where I'm spawning at as well, in the city, or at the graveyard basically. But as you could probably tell, the run is pretty fast, and yeah, there's nothing interesting in materials or that. So let's just go back here and let me show you the loot. Yes, as you see, you spawn right here in the graveyard and you just fly back down there, hence the 4 minutes. And if you're horde, you will be over here somewhere in that town over there, I could assume. I do not I haven't done it on a horde, so I actually don't know. But since you spawn here on alliance, I could only imagine you spawning over there as horde. But anyways, you just go back into the instance after that. And this is the loot that I'm left with. Nothing too interesting, and not a lot of loot either, and I mean, not a lot of value either. I did mention there was one good item. The quick eye and the sharp eye can probably tell that is this one down here, the recipe here. But let's just go through it, and we'll get to the recipe at the end. We got some gloves here, which is 11k on my server, 0.02 star rate, so that's pretty decent. I have a suspicion that these will drop in value though, because of the region market value average is way lower. So I could imagine these not being this good in the future, but for now, 11k, I'll take that. Then we have a weapon here, which is only 99 gold, nothing amazing, but I have sold it in the past for around 400 gold on average, so it's better than selling it to the vendor, and it does sell, so why not? We have this weapon here, which is 2k on my server, and I got 5 of them. There is other colors of this one as well. There's a red, blue, and green, and then there's the yellow one. So the other colors do sell, so hopefully these will sell as well. And 2k each, that is like 10k in these 5 weapons, so I'll take that. We got a mace here, nothing too interesting, 1.5. We got a staff here, which is 4.2 at the moment. I have sold 2 of them in the past as well, so I know for a fact that this weapon sells. They did sell for a bit lower though, but hopefully I can sell it for 4k this time around. We got a bow here, nothing interesting about that, 2.5k though. We got a crossbow here, again, nothing too interesting, very basic looking. It's 10k gold on my server, so we'll take that. Then we have a bow right here, which is a little bit more interesting because of the extra details here, the patterns, so a little bit more interesting. Again, nothing too amazing, but it's 25k on my server, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that we can sell it for that. I do have one on the auction house as well, so I haven't been able to sell any of them, or haven't been able to sell that one on the auction house yet, but hopefully with time, the range's bow will sell. We got a very bad dagger, a dagger here, which is 125 gold, 0.02 sell rate. I only really capped it because it's a blue, and the sell rate is decent, so hopefully they will sell eventually. But only 125 gold is nothing amazing, but every little small amount also adds up to a decent amount. And then there's this one, the Oath Keeper Maze, which is 412 gold at the moment, 0.03 sell rate, which is good, so I'll take that. We have a chest piece here, which is 1.5. Again, nothing too interesting or amazing. And I think this transmark here is actually also given if you buy the leather chest from the heirloom gear, or heirloom gear, or leveling gear, or whatever you want to call it. So I don't really know if this will sell, because you can actually just get it from the leveling gear. But we'll see. Then we have a design here for 3.2. We have another design here for 6k. And the reason why I'm keeping designs for, well, these are the guild crafting, is because I've been having a great success lately with selling these recipes off. For some reason, people just want them. I don't know, just maybe to gather them, collect them, say they have them. Because surely no one is going back to Outland or TBC and actually crafting these for usage, because nobody really plays this expansion anymore, only if the leveling's through it. I mean, you have the classic TBC, where you can actually play this expansion with current gear and all the scaling done correctly and all that. So obviously nobody's really playing TBC content unless they're leveling through it on retail. So nobody's really using these designs, but they will sell eventually, or I've been having success with selling them off anyways, which is weird, but I mean, I'll take that. 3.2 and 6k. I mean, I'll take that. Then we have a tailoring pattern here, which is 18,000, almost 19,000 gold. So that is really good. I'll definitely take that. If I do not have this already learned on one of my characters, I will definitely learn it first and then craft the item and then post that one on the auction house, which is what I do with all of my items basically, or all of my plans and patterns. Wow. Because eventually, if you sell off the transmog piece that you can, well, that it teaches you, eventually you will make more gold selling that than the recipe is worth. So that is a little bit of advice there to you guys. If you want to continue doing transmog, then learn all the recipes that you can, and then start crafting that item as well and post that on the auction house. If I do already have it, I'm obviously going to sell it, but I don't think I have this one. So 18,000, 19,000 for the recipe, but I'm going to learn it probably. Then we have a epic right here, the Leggings of the Beast Mastery, which is only 4.5, nothing too interesting. It's just an epic. I'm just going to try and sell it off if I can. And then the big one, well, the big one is 108,000 gold. It's a pattern for Wind Slayer reps. I don't know, something like that. Is a tailoring pattern for hands, which is pretty decent. These are one of the rarest items you can get in some of these dungeons, because it's obviously it's an epic, but the drop chance on these recipes, plans, and patterns is low. It's really low, and they can be pretty much dropped in all of the dungeons. It can probably also be dropped from any of the mobs in the open world, because I do believe it's a open world drop, which can then be dropped in dungeons as well. So I'm really happy with this one. I'm pretty sure I do not have it, so I'm going to be learning it and then crafting it on the auction house, just as this one right here. So I'm pretty happy with this one. It's a rare drop. It's only 108,000, which could have been a lot higher, but I'll still take it. I mean, I'm happy with this rare drop, because I do not think I have it. But then again, as you could probably tell, nothing too amazing in terms of value. Obviously this one here is good, this one here is decent as well, and then there is the bow, which is 25. Those are the only pieces that is really worth. Well, 10k is also pretty good, but besides that, there's nothing really interesting in terms of value, and that can also be shown in the total value of this place, which is only 110k gold. 210k gold, excuse me, 210k gold for 100 runs of the Shadowed Halls. Not great, definitely not great. And yeah, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this place. You should not do this place. There is a lot of other dungeons in TBC that is worth, is a lot better to run. So yeah, this dungeon is finished. Shadowed Hall is finished. 100 runs of it is completed. Not great. The result is not great. I'm happy with the recipe, but or the pattern as it is. Wow. I'm happy with this one, but don't do this dungeon. It's not worth it. So yeah, that was it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave it a like if you did. Comment below what you got if you did it, or what you think I should do next. I do have a few more dungeons to do, and I've done a lot of dungeons already, so go check them out. So also subscribe, so you obviously don't miss out on the next ones that I'm gonna do, or go check out the ones that I already have done. And then I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.